Hey, what's up everybody? It's Amaya. So today's video is going to be definitely different than anything that I have ever done. This is actually going to be a lot more of a personal video. But for those of you that don't know, I recently did turn 18. I turned 18 on March 28th. So yeah, I'm now 18 years old. Turning 18, even as I was, approaching it like a few months ago, I was kind of nervous. I mean, you go from one day being treated as a kid, like you're a teenager, you still need a parent to sign paperwork for you. And then the next day you're 18 and all of a sudden it's like, yep, you're good. I mean, obviously it doesn't actually go like that a lot of times, but for certain things, like yesterday I couldn't walk into a store, buy a lottery ticket. I couldn't walk into a store and buy cigarettes. I couldn't vote, everything like that, but now today I can. So I just think it's really funny, these whole coming of age sort of ages, such as 16, 18, and 21. I just think they're very interesting ages because you go from one day not being able to do something, but then the next day you can. I don't know, kind of weird. In lieu of that, I decided that I wanted to share with you guys 18 things that I have learned about life in these past 18 years. I saw Samantha Ravndahl do a video similar to this. She turned 25 recently, and so she did 25 things that she has learned in 25 years. And a lot of these things are things I wish I knew at the time, and that if I could go back, I would tell myself these things. So for those of you that are younger than 18, maybe you are 18, maybe you're older than 18, I just feel like these are really good tips that I'm still learning to apply within my life and that I think could be really helpful to you guys as well. So I figured I would share them with you. This might be kind of a long video, so I apologize if it is, but I'm going to try to get through these and be concise and to the point and not be too rambly. Okay, so here it goes. These are no particular order from least important to most important or anything like that. These are just kind of thoughts that I kind of dumped out. So the first one is don't chase people or seek people out. So this one's interesting because there's definitely a fine line with this sort of thing. There are some times where people in your life, you need to put in a little extra work. You need to, quote, chase them a little bit to get them to open up. There's different scenarios, but for the most part, if someone wants to be your friend, if someone wants your attention, they're going to seek it out. They're going to show it. They're going to show interest in you. If they don't want it, then they won't show it. And you should not ever have to prove yourself to anyone or chase someone or earn their friendship. That is not okay. Unless there was something that happened, say you did something really horrible to this person and now you're trying to regrow your friendship, that's different. That's earning back trust. That's fixing something that was there before. But if there was nothing there and you have to earn something or you need to learn how to deserve their friendship or their trust, whether it be a friendship, relationship, anything like that, that's not okay. It's a good thing with the right people, but there are people out there who just want the attention and they like that feeling of someone trying to earn their trust, and they will take advantage of it, and I think that that's not okay. The second one is be extremely grateful for everything you have. This one's pretty straightforward and I'm sure you've heard it a lot, but treasure your family, your siblings, all your loved ones, your pets, your friends, everything you have, because it can very easily just leave at any given moment. I mean, this is especially true for people and pets, I feel like. I mean, sometimes we get angry at them and they're annoying and we just don't want to deal with them sometimes, and you feel like your life would be easier without them, but a lot of times it would not. Other than people that are actually mean and hurtful to you, for the most part, someone who's in your life, like family or someone who's a loved one, and especially siblings, a lot of times you think you can live without them, but you really can't. So just be grateful for them because you never know what can happen. And putting gratitude into your life is a really important thing that I have learned, and it's something that I have worked on, especially during your teenage years. Gratitude is hard because sometimes you feel like the world is against you and you feel like there's a lot of issues going on with you and you forget to be grateful for everything around you. So make sure that you do that. And that kind of brings me to my next point, which is don't live in a you world. You are not the center of the universe, and even though sometimes you think that you're not doing that, you're like, no, I'm not being selfish, or I'm not being greedy, or I'm not a brat. yeah, you might not exactly be that, but you can be doing things that come off to other people like that. Even simple things as getting in your head or only wanting to achieve your goals and just working on your goals and kind of neglecting the people around you. That is kind of living in a you world. You can be focused on your goals, but also be involved with everyone around you and help people around you and help other people reach their goals, because that is just as rewarding as reaching your own goals. So make sure that you're being conscientious to the people that are around you, asking them what they need for help or helping them with something. Number 4 is you can't save people who don't want to be saved, or you can't help people who don't want to help themselves. This one kind of ties into the first point as don't chase people and don't seek them out. This is something that I've had to learn, that sometimes you need to let people go. Sometimes there are people who just want to, as my mom would say, sit in their dirty diaper. That's a quote from her. She's like, you can't help someone who just wants to sit in their dirty diaper. It is true, if you think about it. There are people out there who just really like being miserable, and you've probably heard the saying, misery loves company. So a lot of times these people want to try to drag you down with them, and it's not okay. Sometimes they don't even notice that they're doing it, but there are people who try to manipulate you. They like that feeling of someone trying to help them and someone trying to save them. And there are people out there who like to be the savior, but it's never a healthy relationship. Relationships need to be give and take. I need to help you and you need to help me. If you help me, I'll help you. That sort of thing. There needs to be some sort of give and take. But when you're trying to save someone and you're doing all of the work, then that becomes an issue. Yeah, there are some times where it's going to feel like you're putting in more work to a friendship or relationship than the other person is. So that's just life. You don't always get exactly what you put in. But when it's all the time, that's where the issue lies. Number 5 is do not have expectations for your teen years, because you will be disappointed. I know it's hard, but there are a lot of stigmas that come with certain ages. Like 16, you're like, oh my God, I can drive. I'm on the older end of being a teenager now. Like, look at me. I have all this freedom. You don't. You see 17 and 18 and you're like, oh my God, I'm even older now. Like 18, I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want. 17, like I'm almost an adult. Like people will let it slide, so I can kind of do that. The truth is, your life is life. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be annoying, it's gonna be sad, but it's also going to be fun and amazing and wonderful. And the thing you need to do is realize that it's not going to be like a Disney movie. It's not going to be like High School Musical or Hannah Montana and stuff like that. And even though like in your head you're like, well, no, of course it's not going to be. There are certain things that you see on social media, either your friend's social media or just social media in general, you see in movies, you see on TVs, and even if you know that's not true, it puts something in your head. I mean, it's there. You need to learn that no matter what your situation is, you can be happy in that situation. You can learn to make the best of it. If this is a situation that's really, really bad, if something really bad is going on, something really negative is going on in your life, you can learn how to change that and get yourself out of that situation and become a more positive person in a more positive lifestyle. That's what your teen years are about. It's about learning and growing. It's not about having the most fun you've ever had, because no, being a teenager sucks. It's annoying, it's hard, but it's also fun and wonderful and amazing, and you learn so much. So try to think of it like that. Number 6 is that your friend circle doesn't have to be big. This is something hard. Again, you know, you see all these people that have all these friends and you're like, oh my God, that is what I need to do. I mean, not everybody thinks this way, but there are a lot of people out there where you just see people with a lot of friends and you just assume that's what you're supposed to do. Sure, sometimes there are people that have tons and tons of really amazing friends, but that's literally so few people. Like when I say few people, I mean like barely anybody has that. Most of the time, the people that you see with really, really good friends have like 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 of those really good friends. You can have acquaintances or people that you like to hang out with or people that you like to shop with or go to the movies with. You know, you can have different types of friends, but the real, true friends that you love no matter what, you feel totally comfortable with, those are very far and few between. And that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to get along with like 10, 15 people, you know? You're supposed to get along with like 1, 2, or 3 people. And if that's all you have, that's okay. If they are amazing and they treat you like gold, then my friend, you have hit the jackpot. Number 7 ties into the first one in that these friends can come in all ages, all kinds, all types. and they don't always last forever. So to the first point, they can be any age. They can be older, they can be younger. I've had so many friends that were my mom's age or older. They were almost like a grandma to me. And then I've had friends that are like my little sister's age, and they're like a little sister to me. You know, that's still a friend. A friend doesn't have to be someone who's exactly your same age or exactly in your same grade. They can be a few years older, a few years younger. I mean, being in swing, I have mostly friends that are in their 20s or older. I only have a very few amount of friends that are actually my age. And I have learned that those people who are older and the people who are younger than me are sometimes just as amazing or even better than the people that are my own age or my own grade. That's not to say that the people that are your own age or your own grade aren't great, because they are. They're going through the same things as you, so they're really great. It's really great to talk to them and relate to them. But sometimes getting wisdom from someone who's older or learning how to just let things go from someone who's younger is very beneficial as well. And the same thing with that, these friendships don't always last forever. Sometimes they leave, and that's okay. Sometimes they're only meant to be in your life for a certain amount of time because you need them at that time in your life. I've had friends that I had when I was like 14 and 15 because when I was going through my rough time then, those were the people that I needed. I needed those people right then. And then there are friends that I've had when I was 16 and 17, and those were friends that I needed then. They taught me something, they helped me learn, and they helped me grow at that time. And then when I was done learning and growing at that time, they left. And sometimes they didn't leave on the best of terms, and it's okay. It taught me something and it taught them something, hopefully. But don't discredit that amazing time that you had just because they're gone now. You know, friends come and go, and that's just a part of life. And sometimes that's how it's meant to happen. People aren't meant to be friends forever. Very rarely does that even happen, you know. Friends are meant to come and go, and that's okay. Got a little emotional there for no reason. I don't know why. Okay, number 8 is let yourself live, love, and experience things. And don't be so cynical and scared, you guys. Like I said, life is about being positive and being happy and enjoying every moment, no matter if it's what you expected or what you didn't. So let yourself experience things. Go outside of your comfort zone. I mean, know your grounds and know your morals and stick to what you believe in. But don't let yourself be so cynical and fearful, you know? Don't look at the world as like, ugh, this place, ugh, just gotta try to struggle through it. Guess that's all I'm gonna do. Look at it as like, no, this is wonderful, this is amazing, this is awesome. And it may feel kind of cheesy and kind of like stupid at first. But honestly, I guarantee you, you will be a whole heck of a lot happier. Try something new. If there's a new activity that you've always wanted to try, but you feel like you're gonna feel stupid doing it, do it. If you look stupid doing it, then you look stupid doing it. Okay, are you gonna remember that when you're 50 years old, 60 years old, 80 years old? I mean, are you really gonna remember that? Maybe if it was really embarrassing, and at that point you'll probably laugh at it, to be totally honest. You're not gonna be like, oh my God, that was the worst experience of my life. So don't be so cynical. Let yourself love. If you get hurt, it's okay. You know, you will heal. Number 9 ties into kind of what I mentioned in number 8, which is find your boundaries and stick to them. This is a really hard one because your boundaries definitely change. What you're comfortable doing will definitely change as you get older. You will want to do more things as you get older possibly, or maybe you'll want to do less things. As you learn new things and you try out new things, you'll realize what you like to do and what you don't like to do. And that's how you form your boundaries. But as far as like personal things, personal morals, personal beliefs, find them and stick to them. Don't let somebody sway you, because it can happen very easily, and sometimes you don't even realize it's happening because they'll do it a little bit at a time, like a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, until you realize you're like, oh my God, I do not want to be in this situation and I don't feel comfortable with this at all. This goes for things that have to do with relationships, with love, with sex. You need to find out what your boundaries are and stick to them. And don't base your boundaries on what somebody else is telling you to do or what you think you should be doing. Base your boundaries on what you actually feel. Number 10 is learn to love spending time with yourself. So this is something that I've always kind of done, but I've also had an issue with. I've always been someone who will just go off and do my own thing. If I'm bored, I'll just go find something to do. Like, I was not happy with my life, so I started a blog. Then I wasn't really happy with my blog, so I started a YouTube channel, you know? Just that sort of thing where I was like, I don't really like my situation, so I'll change it, you know? But not everybody's like that. Sometimes people need to try stuff out and do different things to figure that out, because you are literally your best friend. And I know you've heard that quote, like, be your own best friend. And it's true. It's a little corny, but it's true. You are the person that's always going to be there for you. So make sure that you take time to get to know yourself, find out what you love to do, And just relax sometimes. Being with yourself is sometimes one of the most rewarding and most relaxing experiences you can have. Number 11 is that you will find your passion and you will find your talent, but just give it time. You know, I was at a point when I was like, I'd say probably 13 and 14, where I was like, I don't really feel like I'm good at anything. Like, I'm okay at a lot of different things, but I don't feel like I'm amazing at anything. I haven't found my thing yet. And sometimes you don't find your thing. Sometimes there are people out there, similar to my mom, who find that they're great at a ton of different things. And they're not necessarily like a star in one field. They're a star in a couple different fields, and then they're really good at some other things, and then they're okay at some other things, and that's okay. You know, not everybody is going to be like, you know, an Olympic gymnast who their thing is gymnastics. That's what they do. You know, you can have so many different things. You can find so many cool things. There's so much to do out in the world, you know, so give it time. Just because you weren't born with like this amazing talent doesn't mean that you won't ever have a talent, you won't ever have a passion. Sometimes you will find it. Number 12 is start healthy habits early. This has to do with things like eating right, exercising regularly, taking good care of your skin, taking good care of your body and your mind and your soul. These are things that are going to help you later in life, but don't wait till later in life to do that. You know, this is sort of like a preventative thing. Like, start these things early. You will not regret it. You will love yourself when you are older and you're like, oh, I'm glad I didn't just start working out now, because that would be really tough. You know, certain things like that. These are things that are only going to help you. They're not going to hurt you. So you might as well start them early. And a lot of times they can really help you now and later. Number 13 is no matter what you're doing, always give it your hardest. Always give all of you that you have into something. Don't half-ass it, honestly. Don't just halfway something. Whether this is a school thing or a friendship or a sport, even if you're on the losing end of something, give it your hardest, keep trying, give it all you got, and a lot of times that is worth it. You know, when you could say, well, even if I didn't do great, I gave it my best. I gave it my all. That is what counts. If you just half-assed it, you never know what you could have done. Number 14 is don't stay with a boyfriend or girlfriend just because they're hot or charming or popular if there's nothing else there. This is something that's kind of cliche. Like, you see it in the movies. Like, the girl has the really hot boyfriend, but he's kind of stupid and annoying and he's kind of a jerk. And it's one of those like stereotypes that you're like, oh yeah, that's really clear. Like, I would never do that. But a lot of times it happens and you don't even realize it. A lot of times what happens is things start out really great and then you realize that this person really isn't all that you thought they were going to be, and that's okay. It's okay to then leave them. It's hard sometimes because you're like, oh my God, you're really pretty. Like, your face and your abs, looking really good. But honestly, that's not worth it. I would rather be with someone who is the sweetest person ever, who's not necessarily the most amazing looking person ever, because they're amazing to me when I look at them. They look amazing because of the type of person that they are. A lot of times, especially when you're in high school, looks are what matter. You know, it's hard. That's what matters. I mean, people see you with a hot boyfriend and they're like, oh my God, goals. But if you're not enjoying yourself, why are you wasting your time with this person? You know, no matter how good looking that person is, or no matter how popular they are or charming they are, if there's nothing else there and you're not getting anything else out of this relationship, why are you wasting your time? You have this much time on earth. Don't waste it with someone who's not going to give you anything, who's not going to help you, who's not going to make your time valuable, you know? Don't do it. Number 15 is that college is just school. It's just school. It's not a new beginning. It's not a new life or anything amazing. Literally, it's just school. And this one's really hard, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to argue with me on this one, because there's going to be a lot of people that went off to college and like, oh my God, that's the most amazing thing in my whole entire life. It was so life-changing. I just discovered myself. I found who I was. And I guess, yeah, that could happen for some people, but for the most part, college is literally just school. You're there to learn. You're not there to party. You're not there to discover a new self. You're not there to find your inner adult. That's not how it works. College is just school. You're going there to learn how to get to your next step. I feel like people like kind of give you this image and this dream of college, because who wants to be like, yay, you just finished going to school for 12 years. Now you're going to go to school for a minimum of like 2 to 4 years again. Like, nobody wants to hear that. Like, no one wants to get out of high school and be like, all right, here you go, off to more school. It's probably gonna be harder. You know, that's like, they have to sell you this dream of it's going to be amazing and life-changing and so much fun. You're gonna have all these wonderful experiences. And I actually can speak from experience. I've been taking college in my senior year of high school. I did it for the fall semester and for the spring semester. And like I said, it's literally just school. Number 16 is being different is something that is completely okay. For me, I was homeschooled, so that already made me different. Like, it didn't matter what I looked like, it didn't matter how I was as a person, like instantly, like I was homeschooled. I was different than everybody else. That was hard sometimes, but for the most part, I was okay with it because I was like, haha, you guys are on the bus. I'm sitting at home in my pajamas. So that was fine. But I mean, I have a YouTube channel. That's not necessarily as weird as it was a few years ago, but I mean, even when I was like 14 and 15 when I was first starting out, I didn't really want to tell anybody that I had a YouTube channel because people would be like, a YouTube channel? Really? What are you trying to do? Like, be famous? Like, that's weird. Why are you putting yourself on the internet? Whereas now people see it as like, okay, cool, it's like a hobby. Like, you can do that. And the same thing with like doing makeup. And it was really hard for me at first to be like, I want to be a makeup artist, because people see that as like, you're just putting makeup on people. Like, people do that every day. That's nothing. When really, there's a whole other aspect to it. And if people don't realize that, then that's okay. You don't need to prove anything to them. Just do you. Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you saying yes? Then go ahead. Why does it matter what Sally over here thinks? All right, number 17 is what you see on social media isn't always real, and you never know what happens behind closed doors. This one is one that I feel like I definitely still struggle with now, but it's so hard to be scrolling through Instagram and you see this person, like even someone that you know of, like someone who's a real person, not like an Instagram famous person, like someone who like lives in your hometown, and you see them and they're like looking gorgeous and amazing and like, oh my God, you're like, oh, that person is so beautiful and I just want to be like that person. Like, oh my God, they must just have such a great life being able to wake up in the morning and look like that. You never know. I know so many people that are drop dead gorgeous but have the ugliest personalities in the entire world. I can think of like 5 off the top of my head right now. You guys have probably heard the saying, insecurities are loud, and it's true. Sometimes the people that are the loudest are actually the people that are the most insecure. And the people that act the most like full of themselves are the people that have zero self-confidence. And the people that act like their life is perfect actually have a crap life. You just never know what's going on, so don't judge somebody. Whether this is someone being mean and you're like, oh my God, how could you ever be so mean? You're a horrible person, blah, 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 blah. You never know what's going on. And the same thing goes for someone who looks gorgeous or seems perfect. Like, you never know what's actually going on. So don't be so quick to judge people. You know, if you have that thought in your head, let it go, let it pass. But just consider that maybe they're not exactly as they seem. And number 18 is that you can make the best of almost every situation if you try hard enough. And this is kind of a good note to end on because this kind of goes for life in general. This is kind of why I wanted to end on this point. You can make your life exactly what you want it to be. You are the only person who has control of you. You are the only one who can control what you do. You're not a puppet. You're not a story character who already has this whole story written out for them. You get to make your own story. You get to make your own journey. So make the best of it. Make the best journey you possibly can. Don't sit in this negative, cynical world or this scared, fearful world because you only have this time once. You only get this day once. You don't get this day back. So make the best of it. Okay, so there's this quote, and I just pulled it up, and it says, you have $86,400 in your account, and someone stole $10 from you. Would you be upset and throw all of the $86,390 away in hopes of giving back at the person that took your $10? Or would you move on and live? Right, you would move on and live. See, we have 86,400 seconds in every day, so do not let someone's negative 10 seconds ruin the rest of your 86,390. Don't sweat the small stuff. Life is bigger than that. That's one of my favorite quotes, and I think about it a lot, because if you think about it, it's true. Are you going to throw away the rest of your day just because this one person did something that you didn't like? No. You're going to take it and learn from it and move on, and you need to try to make the best of it. So That is one of the most important things, I think. If you remember one thing from this, it's that make the best of your situation, because you don't get this time back. So do you want to sit back when you're 50, 60, 70 years old and think, wow, that was really amazing? Or do you want to sit back and think, wow, I really could have done that a lot differently? It's up to you. So that is it for this video, you guys. Wow, I know this was a long one. I know I was talking a lot. I know it's kind of personal, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you have anything you want to add to this list, I mean, there's a ton more things that I could add, but these are kind of the main things that I really wanted to get across to you guys that I've learned as a teenager. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah. Bye. It's delicious.